I don't box myself in. I think of myself as a global talent. When I describe my talent, I think of myself as an incomparable actor. And not because I'm trying to say that I'm better than anybody else, but I think about my work and I'm always trying to get 1% better every day.
Hi, I'm Genoveva Umeh and I'm a Nolly Icon.
When I was younger, when I was a kid, and they asked me, what do you want to be? Yeah? I said I wanted to be a doctor. But that's because I was in a Nigerian household. And I didn't imagine saying any other thing besides I want to be a doctor. It was like word vomit. I want to be a doctor. Girl, what are we talking about? I'm like, have you seen you? And then somewhere deep inside, I always felt like there's something special about you, but I just couldn't put my finger on it. Getting to high school and having drama class as an actual subject, best 2 hours of my life. And I was like, what is this? But then to me, I was just vibing, because like realistically, I'm first generation immigrant. I'm not going to come to my parents and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to be an actor. I tried it for sure. I did mention it after I'd mentioned like law, social policy, political science, the rest of it. So I felt like if I'd stayed, I don't know, I would have missed out on the opportunities that I've had here so far. And I don't know, there's just something that drew me to African storytelling. I was such an avid watcher of Nollywood, even in my uni bunk bed. And then I'd watch and I'd see the actors and I'd see the directors and I'd tell them what I liked about the work. So I was just drawn to African storytelling and it felt like something that I could do. And if I chose to do it well, I could, depict it well, I suppose, yeah. Ezinne, Blameless. So the director, Stanley B, giving me a call and like, there's this film, I want you to be in it. And I was so excited because I was like, you want me to like be an actual character, like not in the background, not a one scene. And he was like, oh yeah, Kira Hewatch is gonna be in it and she's playing your mother. And I just thought, I love Kira Hewatch. Like I watched her in like, it escapes me now, but I saw her work. I've seen her work and I know that she's a strong actor. Oh my God. And yeah, and like this was my first time working with Dame Kolawo. Our first encounter was actually online. I remember just reaching out to him and saying, oh, I'm an actor, if there's any opportunities, please let me know. And he was like, oh, I'm in Ghana at the moment. And he was like, I should send him like a thing that I've done, like a clip. I sent the clip and he's like, okay, this is great, but you act a bit theoretical. So watching back, I can see some theoretical performances,
What does that mean?
It means because in theatre, you act quite big. And your expressions, your voice is supposed to be loud, but when it comes to screen, there's a stillness to it. So even though you're having a conversation, you're not moving as much, but you're emoting as truthfully as you can. So they say like theatre is like the sun and like screen is like the moon. So yeah, oh, oh my God, and yeah, me and Mez, we go way back. This would probably be our second time filming together. We shot it in 2016 on a project called Origin. This was my retake year in university. I literally traveled from London to Enugu, Nigeria to film a series with him. We shot for a month and I think that was kind of like the decider for me as to whether I would come back to do film in Nigeria. And it just felt so familiar working with him. Really, really enjoyed this and I was just so grateful for it. I remember how much I got paid. It was not even anything close to what I'm earning now, Jaji. Like, it was like, It's scary amounts. But I was just so excited to get an opportunity. I remember they said, "Oh, you're gonna have natural hair," and I was just like, "Yeah, natural. I'm gonna have some natural hair." I remember bringing my bands in, like some of the pieces I'm wearing is actually my clothes, like my actual clothes. I think the earrings are mine. The top where she was talking to her mum, definitely mine. Yeah, and I think I was like working out during this time. I don't know why I was wearing waist trainers during this time, but like my mind goes to the time I was wearing waist trainers to be fit. I think costume and makeup make the work a lot easier. And Mez and I were just like, we had this really good on-screen chemistry that it kind of worked. So we go way back. We go way back. This is interesting. Like, see, I'm wearing that waist trainer here. God of mercy. It's an interesting story as well. Oh. I think literally when I think about performance, I think everyone's come a long way. This was genuine to me. This was like a real emotions. Like we cared about the work. We cared about the work for sure. Timiyen, blood sisters.
Chimezie, who is studying overseas.
Mom, everybody knows I'm in rehab. It's the biggest news in Lagos.
Shut up.
You all know I'm in rehab, right? Now,
Who do I need to fuck to get you drink around here? Joking. People, relax. I feel like Timiyen was so bold and audacious, and she was the most confident. She knew who she was. I'm just looking at her style. Like that big bow. She had this green big bow, and she walked in and she was ready to like shake the table. Like she didn't care. And I remember just filming that scene and having to do that walk where, what did I miss? Yeah, having to say that like 20 times with my heels. I just remember like sitting in a corner and then, everybody's like seated across the table. I remember feeling nervous and feeling like it was like I was about to do a public speaking thing. The magnitude of the cast and it's like these are veterans and also this is Timiyen's opening scene. I knew how powerful and how much audacity she had. I also just didn't want to fumble my lines, you know what I mean? And I just wanted to live it as authentically as I could. I think towards the end, I think there was quite some improv. Like, did you think I'll miss your wedding? Like that was all improv, but it was nice to have that banter, that camaraderie with the brother and sister. It the thing I liked about Timiyen was that like she was a challenge. And I really liked that she was different. Like the lines were different. It was nothing I'd heard before done on Nigerian television. Not of recent times anyway, because the OGs, they used to, girls' courts, they used to kill it, you know what I mean? But but it was nice to have characters that were that bold and brazen. I auditioned for Timiyen. I was still in drama school, like Ebony Life Creative Academy. I was just coming out of there, and then when the head of directing suggested me for the part, and I auditioned. I remember getting the brief and getting a synopsis of this character and just thinking, yes, she is bold and I want to play bold, like I felt ready. I was just coming out of drama school and I really, the whole point of being in drama school was that I wanted to be seen. And this was the opportunity that I wanted right after drama school. I wanted this opportunity and here it was. I was so like ready to go for it. I remember wearing this white top and jeans and having a wig on. I remember starting my lines right in front of like maybe 5 people in the room. And I just felt so nervous. I remember starting my lines and you know what? feeling so nervous and hearing my voice break and then stopping the audition and saying, I'm nervous, I have to shake it out. I shake it out and then I go again. And I do this audition and I just felt like it wasn't about the people in the room. It was about having fun with this character and proving and surprising myself. And that was like the moments that things kind of flipped for me in the way that I approach auditions. In the past, I'd approached auditions with like the idea that, oh, I gotta pay my rent or, you know, or I want this job. Or now it was like, here's my interpretation of the character. I went from job to art.
I'm looking at our brother. Timiyen, let me check along.
Timiyen, Sharaya.
Always say things like that.
I think why she smiles at the end is because she doesn't rate her brother's wife. She don't, so like based off of their relationship, she's like, who are you talking to? Like, so it's easy to laugh at that. Like, who are you talking to? Like, so I think I really loved that she played the context of like the relationships, because then that feeds you more, that gives you more that you can then add to the lines. Because she's like, I'm talking to my brother, like, why are you butting in? You know? I love her style. Yeah, I love her style there as well.
I'm really, really trying. This is the longest I've ever been clean, and I want to stay clean. Just give me a chance. You've never given me a proper chance. I can't do this.
You're a useless, dirty drug addict who has been a disappointment to me from the day you were born.
Yikes.
The idea that you could fill Collar's shoes is laughable.
And I remember feeling so nervous, but also thinking that this character's big. You either go big or you just don't. Like, just, I have to give like props to Kehinde Bankole and Gabriel Flayo. Like, they are, like, you know, to me, they were like the creme de la creme of like performance. I really think they're incredible actors, phenomenal even. So like, just having the opportunity to work with them in that scale, like, was just so exciting for me. And I just think that, like, I remember that scene with the confrontation, like, where she's like, and they offer her the drugs. That was like my first ever scene with blood sisters. Filming is not chronological. The scenes are scattered across the days that you get to film. So it's important that you know your character's arc, and that you prep your character's arc. If you're somebody that likes to annotate your scripts. That's what I do. Just know when it comes to each scene, know where your character's coming from. And then obviously you know where they're going with the next scene. So, and that's kind of how you can keep track of like what's going on with the characters. I think that they didn't really believe her and they didn't support her. And when you're not supported and you're told that you're going to do something and you're told they spoke into her life and they told her you're going to mess up over and over again, she believed it. And she doesn't strike me like someone who had a lot of friends. So yeah, I agree. It definitely was a leash that her family had on her. I've worked with Auntie Kate before, but I was an associate producer for a play. And, you know, I would just make sure that like she was comfortable while we were running this play, because it was quite a grueling experience. The play was called The Wives and it was produced by Nolly Icons at the time. So we had a pet, the women, they had a pet name for me and it was called Jeffrey, right? I know, it's so random, but like, so working on this, like we had this like rapport. She called me Jeffrey as like Auntie Kate, you know what I mean? So I think it was just she's a seasoned actor. She knows herself. She is extremely timely. She's never late. She's definitely focused, and it was great to work with her in that capacity. When I first got into the country, I had no idea that drug use was that rampant. And then I did a play called High on Stage, and it was talking about, the play was about high schoolers, like affluent high schoolers using drugs. And I thought, wow, like these guys don't need any of this. They have everything, they're catered for, well catered for, so they don't need, the actual substance. And then playing Timiyen, I was like, wow, it's a whole pandemic. And I guess I guess coming now into the limelight and experiencing young people, there is a tendency to not control your drug use and to not think of it as a problem. Timiyen knew she had a problem and she wanted to solve it. She just didn't have the right environment to do that. A lot of people did reach out, saying that they felt seen by this character. And I honestly am grateful that I got to play a character that could speak on such social issues. Yeah, drugs are bad, and they're definitely terrible in Nigeria. And I just hope that people find peace, in dealing with it.
Actors and crew members work so very hard to bring the films we love to life. Please support their official release. Thank you.
Anna from Breath of Life.
Her name was Anna. She was a volunteer. And God finished work for this one.
Right? Oh, just Anna. I'm just a volunteer.
Hey, I knew you're a good person. By the way, have you been to the Bible study at the town church?
Bible study? No, I haven't.
You must go. My space said you must go. This is a Bible study flyer.
I remember when I got cast in closer to filming, I called her and I was like, Mom, there's a scene that I really need to. I think we don't end up seeing that scene, by the way. But it's like the first one where she's with the volunteer, where she's with the patient. I was like, Mom, I wondered if there would be like a hand sanitizer, because my mom always had this hand sanitizer in her pocket. I wondered if there would be one. So I just remember telling her, oh, Mom, I'm playing a nurse and I'm really excited to be doing this. Any advice? So she advised me on the scene. I guess how to clean a patient. I think with the scene where Anna cleans Elijah and wipes him down, because that's basically I guess, giving him a bath in the bed. She advised me on that, and I think there was another thing that she said to me, but I can't remember now because I'm really bad. My memory is really bad, but she was really helpful. I love my mom. I think that she's the kindest, best nurse in the entire universe. Her zeal and her dedication to her job is incredible. My mom never has a day off. I think that's such an incredible thing. There was this one time that I went for an audition. It was actually, I was in London and it was a Nollywood audition. I went and I came back feeling that I wasn't seen. I didn't feel I had the opportunity. I did my best, really. And my mom whispers to me in Igbo, she's like, Ukwa rugia ogada. And in my language, it means when the breadfruit is ready, or fall. And I just always kind of carry that with me because, it's just teaching me about patience. I love my parents, and parents mean well, but it's important to know that if you're going to do something that is outside the box or something that you need to prove yourself that you can do it, you need to take yourself outside of a situation where you're less likely to win. Anna was a young woman who graduated summa cum laude in university outside of the country. So she was visiting her parents, and this was her gap year because she wanted to know what to do next. That's why she was volunteering at the hospital. There was a free spirit to her, and then there was also a love that she embodied. People that volunteer, You know, I felt like her love was boundless. And that made me feel like that was a good place to root her and a good place to play her from. So whatever experience or whatever conversations she was having, you saw the love in her spirit, the love in her eyes, the love in her body language, in every situation, be it Elijah, be it work, be it family as well. So that's Anna. He's hardworking, right? I think she liked the fact that he was somebody that was trying to change the community. She liked that drive about him, and she's somebody that's trying to find herself, trying to find her root, and like, I think she'd be attracted to somebody that is, you know, making changes in the community, and that had a faith and a stance and a belief that was unwavering. Chimezie is incredible, like, and working with him is also there's such an ease to working with him. It's been a nice journey. It's been a really, really nice journey because this is somebody that was my first on-screen partner. I'll never forget him rolling in with shades and his suitcase, you know, walking into the gate in Enugu, you know, about to do this thing for like a month and a bit, to this person that just has boundless talent. Like, he's an actor that literally would help you. I enjoy working with Mez, like, a lot. Probably one of my favorite actors to have ever worked with.
Getting impatient with my excuses.
Like,
she kept saying one day she would just...
Anna's look, Anna's fits, her hair, her makeup, like, this Breath of Life is a classic. I'm so proud to be a part of this film. I'm so proud that I'm that girl, you know, because I just, my love for acting got me here, got me to play this role that, like, that was just so easy and so enjoyable. We were filming in Ibadan, but to me, it didn't feel like we were filming. Like, people would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so cranky, it's quiet, blah, blah. I loved the serene environment. I was having swallow every night and I'd come out and I'd do my skips. But it was good. It was good I love a challenge, and I love having the right environment and the right crew. The Breath of Life family really did an incredible job. The costume, Daniel, makeup, just incredible work. There's this chess game and we got to learn how to play it. We also got to learn how to ride a bicycle. It's pretty cool. I knew how to ride a bicycle, yeah, but I have a bad bicycle memory. Like, I have a bad past with a bicycle. I had an injury one time with it. So I was just like, I have not climbed this thing in a while. So I had a refresher. I also had a refresher with swimming. Mez had a refresher with swimming. He would swim every day. And not only that, he'd have to, like, hold his breath underwater. Did a lot of that. It was a good film to prep for. So she knew, out of everyone, how much work Elijah would put in with Mr. Timi's estate. How much work Elijah would put in with Timi's well-being, and how much Elijah really loved him and took him as a father. So in the instance where Elijah then needed help and Mr. Timi wasn't as forthcoming or as helpful as Anna believed he should be, she approaches him to, or asks him why. I know there is some conversations as to, like, how the audacity, how dare you dare speak to somebody. Again, there is a deleted scene which would have helped give this scene far more context. I remember my director and I over live having to address this same conversation, but regardless of the scene, I think I stand by her audacity here. Cool. So cool. You know, when you're a part of this film, when we started filming, I thought, oh yeah, that you definitely get a sense that you're doing something big, but you don't quite know of the lasting impression that it would have in people's minds and life. Um, and then it then goes on to like do this legacy situation where people love it and will reference it. I think films like Breath of Life, Blood Sisters, and a few others definitely like leave that mark in people's memory and lasting thoughts. And it's good. I think it's good. It's good that we're making films that people remember. That's the whole point of film. The film is supposed to move you. It's supposed to give you reference for life as you go through it. And I like being a part of films that make a statement, contribute to African storytelling in that way. Testimony, A Tribe Called Judah. I don't know. Testimony was like a challenge that I've always kind of been looking for. I'd done like films where, the characters like she's come from abroad, so like it was easier to like kind of lean into those characters. But Testy Baby was from the streets, she's part of the community. She spoke pidgin. So it was like, Atifike was like, you gonna do this? You gonna do this? And I was like, I'm gonna do this. So yeah, I was really grateful for her, but it was such a challenge. It was probably the toughest thing I'd ever done, and also felt like, God, like, let me not disgrace my parents. Do you understand? Like I was like, as I was doing, I just never felt content. Never felt content whenever we're done. And to be honest, it's not like I ever feel content, but this one especially, it was like, I felt like, oh man, I don't know about this film. I didn't know about this film, but like the first scene, when I describe A Tribe Called Judah, I just think that the only scene I enjoyed was the first scene. And the rest of it, I felt like was tough for me because she was speaking pidgin, like, but she still had to be true. But the first scene was like, oh, I was told, oh yeah, obviously I read the script and the scene said, oh, you're going to be a beggar. And I just remember just looking out my window outside when I, like out close to home, whenever we saw like beggars and people that were like hawking on the streets, just looking to that for inspiration. When we got to the song, it was just good to practice. I was practicing with my fellow actor, Olumide. And then also all the bits where when she finally gets the money and she's thanking the person that's gifting her money, that was all improv. I'd written it down and I'd hoped that I delivered it in the way that I planned to. So I was really, really pleased. For that scene. It was good to just play and not be conscious of myself. But man, I loved her outfits. I love her outfits. I loved her earrings. Like, I like the mohawk and how like cunning she is. She's just a hustler, man. She was just a hustler that was in love. I don't think that she has a family of her own. I mean, in my head and the way that I prepped her, I don't think that she had a close-knit family. So she found this kind of close-knit family that she wanted to be a part of and that she emulated. And then, of course, her boyfriend who kind of maybe showed her love and support, and she wanted her boyfriend to win. So she showed that in what she did for him, how she would show up for him, and generally the audacity she had with her family, with the boys' family, really. Auntie Funke really does know how to tell a story, and she cast the team perfectly. She does things in an unconventional way, You know, it's not all the way to the book, because sometimes we show up on set and whatever's on that script is probably not what we're doing today. But, you know, she knew what she had a vision, and as long as you keyed in with her and you leaned in, yeah, you'd be pleased with the end product, to be honest. I loved the camaraderie between the brothers, but that's because that was the real camaraderie in the house, because we camped. She camped us in a location, so they got to experience each other. We got to, to just experience each other and then play. I think everybody also just kind of loved the characters that they played, and you could tell because everyone just kind of embodied their characters so easily. I like how normal the dialogue was. Like the lingo, Nigerian lingo was there. Like there were moments that you're just laughing your ass out, like just lam out like many times. And I enjoyed that. Like I really liked A Tribe Called Judah. Auntie Funke's very big on like improvisation. So some directors, are happy for you to maybe stick to the script and maybe add a couple of things that make it yours. But with that scene, yes, there was the script, but then there was like, we're gonna park this to the side. And then Auntie Funke would like sort of direct in a way that you have a vision of like every beat. But what I really enjoyed about this scene is that, yes, there was, the vision, the director's vision, but then the bit where she remembers that, oh yeah, she was speaking to her brother earlier, and everyone's like, so did you go and tell him that you really did that? She didn't say anything, but like the way the suspense, the way she plays it, makes the audience feel like she did, messed up, and then she changes it. And I think that was all improv, and I really enjoyed being in my body for that scene. Yeah. Auntie Funke is up for a Best Actress nomination for this film. I think it would be great for her to get it, because she really did do an amazing job at playing this Iya Judah. Zina, Far From Home.
This is Reggie Gaise. Captain of the football team, son of Senator Flag Kokobo.
And a tall glass of hot chocolate.
Okay.
I heard he's having a party at his house this weekend. But you have to be invited.
How do I get invited? Be cool or be a member of the football team. Tryouts are tomorrow. Tryouts.
Guy, download the school app. I can dance naturally for sure, but for the script, it did say that, oh yeah, Zina is going to do tryouts and perform like she's in a club. Do you know what I mean? So like it said it there. So it was just, I just really wanted to prep for it. So I hired a choreographer. And we worked on this thing on the day that we thought we were gonna shoot. And we didn't get to, so I had time to like stay with this choreography. And then when it was time, we ran it. But I'm just really happy for, and thanks to Jackson for coming through to like help me do that. But it was also so fun to like just, because Zina's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try out for tryouts. I'm gonna try out for cheerleading. And then she does this crazy dance. I couldn't then control how people, took or interpreted the scene, but people genuinely did love the scene and thought it was interesting. There's a thing that I always say. I think it's important to allow yourself to grow. But looking at the filmography from like Blameless, there is like performing, and then there's like that then being true, right? But the difference between like performing and being true is knowing of self. And I think that's really where I've matured the most. I've come to know myself. I've come to just kind of enjoy me being me, and that means I'm able to give more to the characters that I play. And I think that's the most growth and the most important growth that I've had, that I guess that has translated to the characters that I play. I don't box myself in. I think of myself as a global talent. When I describe my talent, I think of myself as an incomparable actor. And not because, I'm trying to say that I'm better than anybody else, but I think about my work and I'm always trying to get 1% better every day. So when I think about what I contribute to Nollywood, I think I'm putting my best foot forward, and it can only get better. I look back on like this filmography feeling really, really happy with how far I've come. And I feel really, really blessed because it was just born out of like sheer passion to try and contribute something, to try and be something, to try and show up. And I feel a lot of pride in like the work that I've contributed to film, to Nigeria, to storytelling. And my advice for anybody or any young person kind of looking out their window, hoping to contribute something to either the small or big screen, would be to just take ownership of their moments, because they don't come and announce themselves in a big way. Ownership, moments of opportunities are very tiny. You don't recognize them, but if you show up and you're willing and you have a great attitude, and you just embrace it regardless of what you're dealing with, regardless of the hardships, regardless of how tough it is, if you show up, you'll reap the benefits and you will see yourself grow, and you wouldn't even believe that, how far you've come. Yeah. And those hardships won't seem as hard. Like they don't seem as hard anymore. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm definitely like honored to be here. This is so cool. Nolly Icons, Blameless, Blood Sisters, Far From Home, Breath of Life, A Tribe Called Judah. Many, many more.
Actors and crew members work so very hard to bring the films we love to life. Please support their official release. Thank you. Keep watching Our House Entertainment.